Peace, welcome. It's gonna be a real quick video. We're gonna talk about um, twin flame stalker, and if it resonates with you, take it. If it doesn't, leave it. If you are a twin flame stalker, um, this message is for you. If you're not, and you're being stalked by your twin flame, then it's also for you. All right, so we're gonna get into why they stalk you in the first place. All right. Um, Mostly is, of course, we know on top is to be nosy. Um, but they don't realize they have a trait of obsession, okay, and control. If they can't have you in the way that they want you, they would find a way, okay, to physically, okay, not spiritually, but physically stalk you. Spiritually, they can't stalk you. Spiritually, it is what it is. But physically, it would show off like some kind of weirdo um, behavior, which it is. It's toxic. It's pretty toxic because if you can't have a cordial conversation with your partner, then that's bad. That's pretty toxic. um, yeah, but they stalk you because they gotta have some kind of level of control physically. Some of y'all would probably say, well, why can't they just express their feelings and tell you how they feel? Some of them just can't. Okay. You gotta understand a lot of twin flames are awakening, and some just don't want to awaken, so they're living in that toxic vibration where they're gonna get the frequency out of you one way or another. They're gonna get you to trigger their emotions one way or another. See, they don't like to listen to their emotions. Okay, they want you. It's almost like narcissism, just about. They want you to trigger their emotions. They want you to reflect to them so that they can reflect to you. And but they tend to lose control over that or power over that, getting you to trigger their emotions because eventually, if you tap into them deep enough where you have this soul connection, now your soul's connected to their soul, and you found each other physically, it's stronger. Okay, the battle is easy to win. So they will stalk you on social media. The best thing to do with that is to learn how to get off social media. And if they can't find you on social media, they would, if they know where you live at, they would pretty much come to your house, like, um, or like stalk you and shit like that. Like, you know how that goes. Um, and it's not love, so don't take them stalking you as a sign of love. Um, that's toxic obsession. Okay. If you practice this bad habit, you will eventually convince yourself this is um, love, and it's not. When they stalk you, it's a toxic behavior, and that's just that. Um, they have to deal with their own emotions. That's the only way they're gonna stop doing the toxic things that they do. No one can control them. They believe that they can be controlled physically because they have been controlled physically, but that's the ego. They got their ego inflated and some deflated it. Okay, so you got their pride up, and some people kill their pride. But if they really love themselves enough, they would love themselves enough to not even bother doing that. But because they don't love themselves, they don't have the sense of love, self love. They are seeking on the outside, which is their physical desire. Okay, physical needs, wants, and desires. Um, they don't live in harmony. Okay, they they're having mental conflict. Like their inner self is at war with each other. You know, um, they got to learn how to go within to control their emotions in a way where they can just have this like mental conversation with themselves, but they're not going to do that. So they want you to do it. They want you to tell them how they should think and how they should act, and they will only base like if you moved on, they would stalk you and find out if you moved on, type stuff. That shit is weird, but um, it's not love, so don't take it as love. It's toxic. Okay. Um, if you feel it's out of control, because it's not your responsibility to control their emotions, they have to do it on their own. They have to learn on their own. And you feel that you um, are not safe, then you would probably have to like move or something like that or whatever. But start all over somewhere else. Ooh, excuse me. But if you are the stalker, that's vice versa to you. Learn how to control your emotions. Okay. Learn how to sit yourself down in a quiet room and silence your mind. Tell your emotions to calm down and to work together in order for you to navigate correctly. When you have misconfusion in your mind, it will cause you chaos in your reality. You will become like a narcissist who's detached because you still have to navigate in the world, and you don't want to be misled. So, and people don't understand that's pretty much how narcissists are created anyway. It's because they are programmed to think outside the box instead of thinking inside the box, which is self. Um, best way to get over that, like I said, is just disciplining yourself, like not punishing yourself, but disciplining yourself to be no means no. If someone doesn't want to be with you, give them space. If someone is toxic, give them space. Treat them as what you want them to treat you in a positive way. If you're a negative person and you're toxic, you would want them to stalk you because you're stalking them, and you will find that as love, and that's not love. That is toxic. You don't. You should. Two people should not have to stalk each other. They should just be able to love each other, have conversation, be able to trigger each other in a positive way where it's like motivational. They're looking for the motivation, but the motivation is toxic because it's not inspiring them. It's it's a desire being fulfilled. I hope you get what I'm saying. But yeah, man, just let people deal with their own problems, like internally. You can't fight that mental battle with them. You can't silence their mind the way that you think they can. At least if you do, it's temporary, but you'll give them temporary peace. But it's not going to be permanent peace because the permanent peace comes from self. That way they'll always be able to control that. Now, when they do stalk you, because they, you know, they get this, like I said, temporary pleasure out of it, which is weird. But they shouldn't do that, and neither should you. So try your best to worry about you. Okay. When I spoke to my consciousness earlier, I asked, I was like, "What about divine masculine?" They was just like, don't worry about it." That's what they told me. Don't worry about it, because worry is an emotion, and it will drive you to the next toxic emotion, which is doubt and fear. And I don't want to live in that frequency. So if you don't want to live in that frequency, you got to come up out of that too. Because with all that comes worry and fear, doubt, and they'll start to stalk. That's toxic. That's why stalkers stalk because They're looking for some type of positive boost. Okay, and they shouldn't do that. They should be able to turn their own life around. They should be able to do what makes them happy, and that don't make them happy. It's not permanent happiness. That's just that temporary, satisfying that alter egos type shit. But it's not normal. Um, what is normal is that they can have a conversation with you, and y'all can sit down like two adults, knowing that they got their own mindset, and they're gonna respect it one way or another. And when they don't, they separate. That's the simple communication skills. They lack the ability to communicate with you on a normal level, so they want to do it toxically. They want to force the issue by making you, um, which is it's just not normal. So, um, only way they can heal, like I said, is if they go inside. Only way you can heal is if you go inside, to fight that emotion of doubt, worry, and fix it. Like, doubt and worry should not be at the top of the crown. It should be where it needs to be, in its own place on the side. What should be at the top of the crown is joy, peace, happiness, love, oneness. Mental conflict stops when you, like, all have. I mean, today, let me tell you, I had an experience where my mind was. It's like paranoia, right? It comes like paranoia, schizophrenic. This is how you know when people have, um, a mental war right now, when they're having a mental war within their minds, where they can't get their emotions in control. When your emotions are out of control, it causes chaos. But just get it under control. When you get it under control, it's just you stop the body, don't move the body. Because if your emotions are out of control, you will live an out of control reality. But all you have to do is just like sit your body down. This is why it's good to meditate. When your mind starts to wander and you start to, be triggered in all different angles, then you need to learn how to sit still and don't move until, um, they make a good judgment. It's like, just picture judgment in your mind, like being at the courthouse or something, or people judging you. You give them time to make their decision. Okay, so, um, and put everything in the correct order. Okay, so that is all, about the stalking twin flame. All right, if they stalk you, they're out of line. They're unaligned, out of line. Okay, it is not love. Do not take it as, oh, flattery or some shit like that. Don't do that. It is not a positive behavior. It is actually toxic, because they're still trying to seek you for validation, or, and it's not a positive way. Um, it's a toxic way, because if you do, um, satisfy their illusion in that manner, they would continue to do it, and it will become a bad behavior. So try to stay away from the person until they're actually healed within. Leave them to themselves to calm themselves down. A runner is running because they're running from the fact that they are having a mental conflict, and they don't want to sit themselves down enough to be patient enough to let themselves heal. So they would run rapid. They would jump from relationship to relationship. They would, be toxic. They would be hot and cold. Every time you turn around, they would be hot and cold. That's just mental imbalanceness. Okay, that's just their emotions out of control. So, all they have to do is get their emotions in control. Put them in order. Put the peace where it needs to be. Okay, joy, happiness, love, peace, and all that must be at the top. And you put your mindset in the categories it needs to be. Tell them what you're looking for. I'm looking for peace. I'm looking for happiness. I'm looking for love. Okay? And then you would manifest that. But if you are looking for chaos, looking for hate, anger, envy, jealousy, all that will be at the top of your crown. Okay? So stay oneness. You know, don't give the stalker any type of reason to stalk you. If you have to move and it's out of control, then leave. It's not hard. Just pack your bags and go. Um, you ain't got to tell them nothing. Don't stalk them on social media. Don't text them. Don't email them. Just move forward. with love in your heart that one day they would get this shit together. Okay? So peace and love to y'all. Peace.